Marriage is when two people united into one. It is both encouraging and assisting the other in whatever responsibilities or aspirations he or she might have. I'm Claudia Suwardi and this is Believe It or Not. Well, we all know that marriage is a very common thing, right? I bet most of you in the audiences have already experienced it, or maybe you will experience it sooner or later. But there's something very interesting about the topic that we're going to talk about today. So, a couple from Long Island, New York City, have decided to say that marriage vows inside a giant aquarium. Well, if that's not unique enough for you, well, they did it inside the aquarium with species of sharks around them. Let's just see this short clip first.
Michael and April, you have come before us and you've expressed your desire to be husband and wife. Can someone move this shark?
When choosing a guest list for your wedding, most people leave out the massive sea turtles and killer sharks. Meet April Pignataro and Michael Curry. On Sunday, the new couple celebrated their wedding by exchanging vows in a shark tank at the Atlantis Marine World Aquarium in Riverhead, Long Island. Connected to their pastor via radio headsets, April and Michael Curry tied the knot surrounded by family, friends, and a school of sharks.
Well, it's going to start off like a very traditional wedding, and then it's going to get a little weird.
April, do you come this day to take Michael as your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
It's not unusual for April.
Right.
Yeah. Has she done things like this before?
She's
unique.
Unique, very unique.
I mean, she went to school to become an auto mechanic, where
Right.
not too many females do that.
However, the newlyweds say they never planned for so much media attention.
And then I find out this morning we're all over the news in Canada. And,
We really, I mean, we were just doing this just to do it as our own experience. We were not expecting any of this at all.
Despite being at the mercy of the marine life, April says the hardest part was convincing her mother.
And my mom was like, no, not at all, no.
From Riverhead, New York, for NYPost.com, Kenson Noel.
With my whole heart
I give my whole heart.
and my complete devotion.
What?
Well, I bet they're having a little difficulties on hearing and repeating what the pastors say. But here is with us in the studio, Director of Food Services at Atlantis Marine World. Please welcome Gisela Cristabel. Sit down. Hi, Miss Gisela. Thank you very much for your time today, for being with us here in the studio.
Yes, my pleasure.
So, can you tell us first, how do that April and Michael actually did the shark tank wedding?
So yeah, that's interesting. So April and Michael actually had a discussion with me, and they said they wanted a unusual wedding ceremony, and I knew that they are professional divers. So I came up with the idea about the shark dive wedding.
So it just came in like that?
Yeah, pretty much, and they love it very much.
I see. So how about the preparation? Are there many major difficulties, or maybe it is not as hard as it looks?
Difficulties, of course. We got a little bit difficulties to make them stand top underwater, but then we found out a way, and everything went well.
That's very great. Well, I think, guys, the competition is getting more interesting. So don't go anywhere because we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned on Believe It or Not. Welcome back, guys, to Believe It or Not, and is here still with us in the studio, Gisela Cristabel, as Director of Food Services at Atlantis Marine World, where April Pignataro and Michael Curry a couple weeks ago held their shark dive wedding. So let's just continue our conversation. How was the preparation?
So preparation. I actually held a wedding ceremony, the traditional one, every week in Atlantis. So we basically run the traditional wedding smoothly, but the problem is actually about the shark tank wedding is the sound system around the shark tanks, and the microphone and wedding swimsuit. But other than that, it's just unusual.
Oh, I see. So there are already a lot of traditional weddings held in Atlantis,
Yes,
Maribel. I bet all the crews there won't be having any difficulties, right? Besides the sound system and microphone underwater. I see. So I was wondering, well, maybe some of you are already interested in having a shark dive wedding, right? Or any one of you who's watching us, well, is it possible for them to have a shark dive wedding even though they are not experienced divers or maybe haven't even dived at all?
Yes, of course, it is very possible. We just need to train them how to stand still under the water and to stay calm. That's the most important thing, because panicking actually can makes the shark panic too. That's very dangerous.
Oh my god, and very scary too. So guys, if you want to have a shark dive wedding, please make sure that you are already prepared and trained for it. Gisela, can you have like one last tips for all the audiences here maybe?
Right, so just dare yourself to make something new in your wedding ceremony, because it is only happens once in your life. So just do it and make it special.
I totally agree. Thank you very much for your time today here with us in the studio. And guys, that is the end of today's episode of Believe It or Not. Well, as Gisela says, which I totally agree, well, don't hesitate to have something new on your special day. Well, any kind of special day, because you'll never know if you never try. Well, I'm Claudia Suwardi. See you on next week, same channel, same time. Believe it or not, every Saturday at 7 p.m. and have a nice weekend.